Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Schorsch. Today it's all about the advanced level. The more we get into the advanced mountaineering, the more we face technical challenges. One of those is for sure all the stuff to get out of the binding, get the skis onto your backpack, get it off on top, boot packing, transition back forth, where you waste a lot of time and energy. So today we will help you to increase your efficiency. So arrived at the bottom of the boot packing section, it would normally take quite a while. I mean, you would put your backpack off, you'd put the skis with a lot of straps on your backpack, you fix them, it takes minutes and minutes. And it's not just the time you waste, it's the energy, and you're getting cold. So the DYNAFIT way is, and I put it this way, I open one binding with one hand, step on the other, take my pairs of skis, stick them through the loop, and fix them with the hook. It's not just time saving, it's just more comfort, more fun, more efficient, and saves energy. And your boot packing section is just to start very quick. If you just do it for very short sections, that would be kind of the Schorsch way. Open the strap, put it in between, behind your back, close the strap, ready to boot pack. Magic. Some of you have certainly wondered what's those loops here lined up diagonally on the DYNAFIT backpacks for. It's quite simple. It's another ski carrying option. The lower loop takes the ski all the way to the binding. The upper loop fixes it and gives it the position. It's just another way to carry the skis, and it might be a little more comfortable, especially when you have to carry it for a long time. Arrived on top of the boot packing section, we transition back onto skis. How does it work? Pretty simple. It's the reversed order how to fix it. Unhook the ski, drag it out of the loop, put them into place, as always. Step into the binding, as usual, in a 30-degree angle. Don't forget to block for the climb, and just continue the way up on skis. Okay, my dear friends, hope this little tip helps you enjoy better the transition, helps you increase efficiency, helps you just be faster. Stay tuned, speed up, and have fun. Ski touring in high alpine terrain, especially on glaciers, requires a little more when it comes to equipment. Besides snow safety, besides of course ski touring equipment, changing clothes, food, drinks, we need the equipment for the glacier. A rope, 30 meters minimum, which is a ice axe we bring, which is a harness which makes it together with the rope team. It's a couple of carabiners and slings. Most important, pay attention to not carry too much. So leave home stuff which you don't need, and ideally you bring lightweight gear, because at the end you need to carry everything, and the higher you get, the more challenging it gets. So less weight, more energy, more fun. Not to forget crampons. It's a little depending on the tour or on the selection of the tour, but overall on glacier in general we bring crampons. I always store them here in the safety compartment, and I always store them spikes on top of each other, so spikes facing spikes, because the other way you might have a unwanted surgery on your back. Make sure that the crampon you bring is already adjusted to your boot size. comes back to the point preparation. So we prepare our rope, we prepare everything we need to prepare or to adjust our crampons as well. So crampons need to be adjusted, which means in terms of length. What's the proper length for your boot? When you step in and push all the way forward, the end of the crampon and the end of the heel should be at the same level. Then you hear this snapping noise. This shows you it's sufficient tension, it's not too short and not too long. And this needs to be done before. Preparation is the key. I gotta show you here our adjustment system on a Mezzalama crampon. We unhook here this length adjustment, and with all these holes, with this pattern, it allows us to lengthen or shorten the crampon. The further I put it in front, the longer it gets. The further ahead, the shorter it gets. So let's say number 12, it hooks in, then over the nose, fix. So most of the time we carry the ice axe on the backpack, which means we need to fix it properly. It's a wide variety on systems out in the market. This speed system I like pretty much because it's quite simple. Stick in here, take the elastic band through a loop. That's it. And if you want to do your teammate a favor, have the sharp end of the ice axe facing the middle instead of killing your partner. Once we move on a glacier, we need to rope together because there are crevasses. Crevasses make a glacier serious terrain. And rule number 1, do not fall into them. So a rope is very much needed besides a harness, besides carabiners, besides different slings, and at least one ice screw and the ice axe per person. Depending on the terrain, usually we bring also crampons. That is all, let's call it the high-alpine mountaineering stuff we need to take with us, besides snow safety, besides fresh clothes, besides food and drinks and blah, blah, blah. So it adds a lot to your equipment, and it's not a nice to have thing, it's a must. So for high alpine ski mountaineering trips, which involves a glacier, planning and preparation is essential. Preparation especially on the glacier gear, which means the rope, the harness, the carabiners and the slings. Usually you see, or quite often, you see many people just starting the preparation when they enter the glacier, which means you stand there for really hours. Now hours is a little exaggerated, but you stand there for a long time and start putting the knots in the rope, you start taking on the harness, you start clipping on the carabiners. This can be done before, because we don't want to stand there when it's cold, when it's windy, it might be dark. So keep in mind the preparation of the gear before makes your life afterwards way easier. So preparing our glacier gear is a lot. It makes a lot your life easier, makes it way more efficient, it makes it way more fun, which means we do all the preparation before. We are ideally 3 of us roped together, so we prepare the rope for 3 people. Take our rope, and then we need to make sure that we have a certain distance between the rope members, which is 10 meters. You just need one reference which comes from your body. My reference is always the left chest and my arm, because this is exactly 1 meter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Middle position, knot, and we continue. Another 10 meter for the last position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have already the distance, we have already the rope prepared. I personally start my tour always with the harness on, instead of, again, hassling around when it's cold, dark and windy. And now I show you how a rope is stored in the backpack and carried for a race like the PDG. For a race like the PDG, where you start running and after, depending on your personal speed, say 2 hours, you rope together, the middleman is already hooked in and carries the rope. The rope needs to be stored in the backpack in a special way, which means I start storing it just loose from the middle. So at the end, I get the knot for the front and for the last person. These 2 knots stay on top and, that's the secret, stay outside just that much that you are able to catch them quickly. So I'm the middleman, I carry the backpack. This is my guide, this is the leading person, which is usually the most advanced, the most educated, the most trained, the strongest, and this is the last person. We are a rope team of 3. So, ready to rumble. So here's the point where we rope together, at the very latest at the beginning of the glacier. How does it work, the DYNAFIT PDG race style? So the man in the front clips in and keeps going. He's basically without any pause. The man in the back clips in and waits until there is tension on the rope, and here we go. So back from our first high alpine ski touring adventure, this was of course just a little glimpse into this world. It takes a lot more, but this might be a start and help you get curious, help you enter into the high alpine terrain and help you increase your performance and efficiency. For those who might want more information and what it takes for the high alpine terrain, check out our cooperating guide service. Keep up the speed up mode and enjoy. Have fun and see you next time.